Hello and welcome to Newsroom series as we focus on the southwest region of the country. I'm Olumide Macaulay. President Bola Tinubu has performed the wreath-laying ceremony with other dignitaries to mark the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebrations in Abuja. All service chiefs, led by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and heads of other security agencies, amongst others, also took part in the ceremony. The program, which is organized yearly to commemorate Nigerians' fallen heroes, also witnessed other activities such as prayers, the gun salute, and the releasing of pigeons at the National Arcade Eagle Square in Abuja. Joining us now is a retired colonel of a retired army officer in the Nigerian Army, I shall say, retired Colonel Frank Eboigbe. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us, and happy Armed Forces Remembrance Day.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Now, sir, every year Nigeria celebrates this Armed Forces Remembrance Day. What would you say about this celebration as far as its impact goes on the families of the fallen heroes?
These celebrations have been going on for a very long time. Yet we really have to look at the purpose of celebration. Are the families getting what they are supposed to get? Yes, to some extent. There are hitches here and there. And then when it comes to a time like speeches are made, everybody seems to celebrate it instead of seeing it as a very sober moment to reflect on what has happened to this fallen hero and what is happening to their various families. So for me, it is a time to remember fallen. It is also a time to reflect and really look at what we have been doing for their family.
Speaking of which, and we do apologize for wherever you weren't quite audible, and we'll try and address that. But in the meantime, it is quite apt to call these fallen soldiers, armed forces members, fallen heroes, because they put their lives on the line, and in the line of duty is where they became dearly departed. As far as the families of the fallen heroes are concerned, the state government and the federal government have promised they get full support, but there are some complaints of not getting enough of their entitlements or support. Could you speak to that issue?
Yes, that is true. They are not getting exactly what they are supposed to get. I think the problem here, we have everything written down, but pronouncements, but when it comes to implementation, we have problems. Some of these soldiers died. Their families are still out there, struggling on how to get their death benefits. That is not supposed to be. It's supposed to flow. As soon as it happens, the necessary machineries are put in place to give them whatever benefits they are entitled to. But if you recall, sometime a year or two ago, veterans had to head the Ministry of Defense. That is not supposed to be. So you have to fight for what ordinarily you are supposed to get. So that's the situation we find themselves. And some of them have been complaining. Some have gotten what they, some are not getting. That is not fair.
Colonel, this Armed Forces Remembrance Day for the year is happening with the specter of certain flashes of insecurity across the country, kidnappings in the Federal Capital Territory, the insecurity and the killings in Plateau State, especially during the last year's Christmas celebrations. What would you say about the state of the war against insecurity in the country vis-a-vis the Nigerian armed forces?
Sorry, can you take that?
Okay. I apologize you couldn't hear me, but I was asking you about the spate of insecurity in the country and what your opinion is concerning the armed forces and their response to these problems, inclusive of which, of course, is the plateau situation with the killings during Christmas celebrations last year and insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory and also in the northeastern part of the nation.
Very unfortunately, these things are happening. The military is stretched. They can't do it all. They can't be everywhere. Fine. When things happen, they are always responsible. But is the military supposed to be the first responder? That remains to be seen. But you find them all over the place, doing jobs, men and other stuff. They are supposed to be a way of handling this. When another problem I see here is flow of information. They get the necessary intelligence when they are. And when this information is made available, how authentic are they? Don't forget the people fight the bandits, terrorists are all members of this same society, the Nigerian society. So you find an element of mischief on some part of people who know these people, they don't want to say anything about them. So the military can only work with what they have. That is the available intelligence. Hopefully things will improve so that they can nip some of these things before.
Finally, Colonel, we know how capital-intensive supply of the ammunitions and the weapons for the Nigerian Armed Forces is, but we've run out of time, so we'll leave it at that. And we thank you for being with us today. We've been speaking with the retired Colonel Frank Eboigbe, who joined us today on the very, very solemn and important celebration of the Nigerian Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Many thanks. And now we'll bring you images from the day, and it happened in Abuja, some of the celebrations, the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day, where the president was present, I beg your pardon, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that is, performing the wreath-laying ceremony. The program, organized yearly to commemorate Nigerians' fallen heroes, also witnessed other activities such as prayers, gun salute, and the releasing of pigeons at the nation's national arcade Eagle Square. And we'll also be taking a look at the Southwest region right now and how the affairs went on as far as the celebrations for the Armed Forces Remembrance Day in the Southwest.
January the 15th is known in Nigeria as the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, a day set aside to commemorate the nation's departed compatriots, as well as honor living veterans. Celebrating the day in Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu lays wreath to appreciate fallen heroes for paying the supreme price for the peace and security of the country.
The government and the people of Nigeria appreciate all of their effort, what they've done, and for serving officers to know that the country will continue to appreciate their gallant work, even while they are alive or even when they pass on, as it has become a national significant day that everybody must honor them, appreciate them and wish them well and continue to encourage them.
It's a similar exercise in neighboring Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, where there's a special parade by the Army, Navy, as well as a 21-gun salute, release of pigeons satisfying peace, progress, and unity. Governor Dakwa Abiodun lays a wreath at the arcade ground, governor's office, joined by heads of security agencies, traditional rulers, amongst others. He appeals to Nigerians to shun all forms of violence and divisive tendencies and have faith in the country's leaders.
To show an act of kindness to these patriots who paid the ultimate price in defending the territorial integrity of our country. We also want to encourage all of us to reach out to their families. Government cannot do it alone.
Further south, in Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde believes it's important for Nigerians to continue to cooperate and support service chiefs. He made this appeal after joining service commanders to lay the wreath in remembrance of fallen heroes. Governor Makinde also promises that his government will do all it can to make sure families of fallen heroes are not forgotten.
For our fallen heroes, for the people they left behind, we will continue to give them support.
For the Oyo State Governor, Demola Adeleke, himself and the citizens of the state value and appreciate the sacrifice of the armed forces.
We value and appreciate your sacrifice to the nation. You should be rest assured that we are attending to your demand as listed in your speeches.
In the months leading up to the celebration, the government unveils a remembrance poppy and launches an appeal fund to support living veterans and the families of fallen heroes.
Mr. Speaker, we appreciate you.
This Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day 2024 is aiming.
You're watching Newsroom series as we focus on the southwest region of the country. Coming up, security in Oyo State and the matters arising. Please stay with us. You're watching Newsroom, Southwestern Newsroom series, and on the Armed Forces Remembrance Day, the Provost Company of the 9th Brigade Headquarters, Ikeja Cantonment of the Nigerian Army, has arrested 11 suspected criminals across Lagos. 5 of the suspects who are paraded themselves in, who are fake soldiers, paraded themselves in military uniform and engaged in escort and guard duties. The Acting Deputy Director of Public Relations, 81 Division of the Nigerian Army, Lieutenant Colonel Olabisi Ayeni, explained that others were arrested for cultism and illegal possession of firearms.
The 9th Brigade Provost Company of the Headquarters 9th Brigade Nigerian Army, Ikeja Cantonment, apprehended 5 individuals who have been impersonating as soldiers of the Nigerian Army and committing criminal activities that continue to disrupt the peace and security of Lagos State and its environs. The impostors have been arrested for offenses including illegal duties, providing illegal security, illegal escorts, and stealing. This act is considered a criminal offense, and those found guilty will be made to face legal consequences. And the 9th Brigade Nigerian Army will leave no stone unturned to deny criminal elements freedom of action in the brigade area of responsibility.
In a bid to further strengthen security across Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde has distributed another batch of 100 patrol vehicles to security agencies at a formal handing over ceremony. He thanked all security chiefs in Oyo State for their dedication and cooperation, assuring them that his government will continue to support the agencies in the quest for peaceful existence. In every civilized society, the security of lives and property tops the list of government responsibilities, helping to maintain stability and order, which is crucial for economic development. Oyo State appears to be in sync with policies in this direction, and efforts are made in tandem to achieve success. More is still being done to support security agents with enablers to do their jobs. Here at the Governor's office, car park in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, Governor Seyi Makinde is handing over 100 patrol vehicles equipped with communication gadgets to a number of security agencies.
The benefit of the good people of Oyo State, I hereby declare this security vehicles ready for operation, ready for deployment.
He appreciates service commanders for the leadership and motivation provided for their officers and their sacrifices, promising that his administration will continue to do all it can to support them.
Pay special attention to the welfare of the people that you want to deploy. Publicly, thank the Commissioner of Police, for the leadership and the motivation you're providing for your people.
The commanders are also asked to ensure that their field officers are well remunerated and motivated to give their best at all times.
You made Oyo State one of the safest states in Nigeria. So what can we do? We can only give maximum support to ensure that your work is not like an hardship posting.
In his address, the Special Advisor on Security to Governor Seyi Makinde, who also doubles as the Executive Secretary, Security Trust Fund, says this investment is geared towards strengthening the security architecture in the state.
I want to believe, just like all other initiatives of Your Excellency, that the security service commanders will ensure a very good use of all this infrastructure that you've been providing for them.
Responding on behalf of the service commanders, the Commissioner of Police in Oyo State commended the state government for its continued investment in the maintenance of security.
We really acknowledge you on behalf of the Inspector General of Police of the organization I represent and all other service commanders here. We promise you that we are going to make maximum use to ensure that Oyo State remains the pace-setter state in security, and our people shall continue to enjoy the benefits of democracy as delivered by you.
The Western Nigeria Security Network, codenamed Amotekun, got the largest number of vehicles to improve operational efficiency across the state.
Additionally, we have 400 motorcycles where those vehicles cannot go into, where you have difficulty to access from interland. We use those bikes to do that.
Some residents of the state share their views on the state of security within the state.
Full of security in Oyo State, the way I look at it is very perfect, together with the police, together with Amotekun.
All local governments around Ibadan, Amotekun are doing very well. If they give them support for Amotekun, they will do well.
This gesture, amongst other things, is expected to reduce response time to crime and also boost the morale of security agents. From security to education, but this time in Ekiti State, and a proactive move to improve that sector, Governor Biodun Yebanji has organized a 12-day training program for 1,103 teachers from primary and junior secondary schools, focusing on digitalization. Emphasizing the significance of digital skills, the governor, represented by Professor Femi Akiumi, the executive chairman of the Universal Basic Education Board, asserted at the opening ceremony in Ekiti that digitalization is fundamental to global human interaction.
The essence of this is to see to the improvement in the teaching learning situation in our schools. Ekiti State is known for excellence, and so we can't do anything less, than that. And that's the reason why we are starting the digitalization program. We're going to cut across all the schools. With this, we have trained first of about 2 sets. This is the 3rd set. They are going to do for 21 days. It's cascading. That they have to go outside and train some of the teachers again on how to use the tablet with them
to have for effective monitoring. How to use it for to mark register, right? Really know where a teacher is at one point in time, what a student is doing at one point in time. We are out, for effective monitoring.
The Director General, represented by Dr. Lara Ogunshola, said the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak has offered the education sector an incredible opportunity to fast-track the digital experience.
To digital, instead of marking, ticking, and compiling, having the attendance register where you mark in the morning, you mark in the afternoon, you clock. With this, it is what is obtainable at the international level, and we are so grateful to Besda, UBEC on this particular innovation. It's a great innovation that we move the system forward. What will this do for us? It will help us to monitor attendance of pupils and all the learners, as well as of the teachers. Because if the teachers are not there, there is no way they will be able to capture the attendance of their pupils. So this particular training is taking education to a higher level. Best practices, as I believe we will have to call it.
The Ogun State Governor, Mr. Dakwa Abiodun, has pleaded with the federal government to approve the operation of the Remo Economic Zone as a free trade zone. The governor, who made the plea when he received the Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Nkiruka Uzoka-Anyete, and her team in his office in Abeokuta, noted that the approval was needed to enable processing companies that have signed to process their raw materials in the zone to commence operations. He also emphasized that the zone will record multiple processing companies willing to sign up to begin work in the next 1 year if the approval was given, saying out of the 6 special agro-processing zones, the state has the highest number.
Nice to meet you. Good morning, good morning.
The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment arrives at the Ogun State Governor's office as part of a tour of industries and manufacturing companies in Lagos, Ogun and Kano states. It's an opportunity to exchange ideas, successes recorded, strategic plans, as well as challenges.
Some of the things that we would like for you to assist us is we have a pending application for the Remo Economic Zone that enjoys the status of a free trade zone. And the reason for that is very simple. The entire economic zone, which I know you're very aware of, is being developed in partnership between the state and a third party. And we located the airport in this economic zone.
Shortly after the visit, the Trade Minister briefs newsmen on the major takeaways from the meeting.
The mandate of His Excellency, the President of the country, has been for us to find ways of increasing job creation, increasing industrialization and driving investment. I've come to discuss with him on his vision for Ogun State and how that also aligns with the vision of His Excellency at the federal level. We've agreed on common areas where we can partner and how we can develop and drive a joint investment strategy and plan for the state and in alignment with that of the federal government. We expect to see more job creation. Now, I'm also here to visit a number of industries to discuss with them as well, understand their challenges and how the federal government can support them.
Done with the courtesy call, the Trade Minister embarks on an assessment tour of industries in Ogun State. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anyete, is optimistic that the assessment tour of industries and manufacturing companies in Lagos, Ogun and Kano states will improve ties between the public sector and private businesses.
And that's it today for Newsroom Southwest on Newsroom Series. Thanks for watching. I'm Olumide Macaulay.